students. In the chapter The Fundamental Units of Life, we have studied about the cell wall in our previous class, isn't it? So, I hope you have understand what is a cell wall. It is nothing but one rigid outer covering membrane just outside the plasma membrane. So, that is nothing but what? The cell wall. We have also seen what are the functions of the cell wall. How does it protect the plant cell, isn't it? So today, through the activity, we are going to understand the term plasmolysis. What is a plasmolysis? That is when a living cell, yes, I mentioned living cell. So when a living cell passes water in the external environment, it gets shrink, isn't it? So when it gets shrink, the contents which are present, they get concentrated away from the, or they get contracted away from the cell wall. So this term is called as what? Plasmolysis. As this osmosis takes place in the plants, they are called as what? Plasmolysis. So students, just I will read the activity, and through this activity we can infer so many things. Okay? So just listen to it. The activity is, we have to mount the peel of a Rio leaf in water on a slide and examine cell under the high power of a microscope. Note the small green granules called chloroplast. They contain a green substance called chlorophyll, and put a strong solution of sugar or salt on the mounted leaf on the slide. Wait for 5 minutes and observe under a microscope. So what here they have mentioned? Mount a peel of Rio leaf. So Rio leaf is nothing but a leaf which we use for gardening purpose or for show purpose. It is a Rio leaf, okay, or you call it as oyster leaf. So this leaf normally it is a long leaf, and it has green color upside and purple color to the bottom of the leaf. So it is a combination of green and purple leaf. So basically this leaf is used to observe what? Stomata under the microscope. But here we are using this to observe the plasmolysis process. So here they have mentioned that a live leaf, that is live Rio leaf, where the cells are live and not dead cells. Okay? So we have to take this leaf and put it in a water and mount it under the microscope. Then we have to put a sugar or a salt solution. Means what happens? The external environment outside the Rio leaf is contained with the sugar solution, and when the leaf takes the water, it passes some water outside the solution. Means when we put sugar solution, during that time the cell gets shrink, because when we put it in a pure water, the cell has swollen. So here osmosis process has taken place. That is nothing but plasmolysis. Means when the leaf is put in a pure water, it has done? It has taken the water and it has get swollen. But when we put the same leaf in the sugar solution or concentrated salt solution, then it will leave the water, and thus the cell gets shrink. So let us see what happens further. Now place some Rio leaves in boiling water for a few minutes. We have to take some of the Rio leaves and put it in a boiling water. So when we put this in a boiling water, all the cells, they get damaged, or the cells are, this kills the cells. They have killed the cells when we put the Rio leaves in the boiling water. This kills the cells, and then mount one leaf on a slide and observe it under a microscope. So you have to follow the similar process. Again you have to put some water on it and observe it under the microscope, and again you have to put it in a sugar solution or in a salt solution. So can we observe the same plasmolysis process here? No, we do not observe the same process. So what can we infer through this? That is, the plasmolysis process takes place only in the living cells and not in the dead cells. So the osmosis process takes place only in the living plant cells and not the dead plant cells. So this cell wall, what does it do? It permits the cells of the plants, fungi and bacteria to withstand very dilute, means hypotonic, external media without bursting. The cell wall protects the cell from bursting even in a dilute solution. Means even we put more amount of water, or if we take a cell and if we put it in a more concentration of water, even though the cell wall will protect the cell from bursting, because during this process the cell, what does it do? It acquires the water from the external environment and it gets swollen up in a normal concentration of water. But when there is a very dilute solution, that is very dilute means more concentration of water, even during this time the cell acquires the water but it won't burst. Why does it won't burst? Because of the cell wall. The cell wall has a powerful membrane, because of which it protects the cell, the internal membrane of the cell, means it gives the strength and protection. So that is, during this process, cell tends to take up the water through the osmosis process and cell swells, building a pressure against the cell wall. Means when cell acquires the water, it is swollen up and it builds up a pressure on the cell wall. But the cell wall is so powerful, so rigid that it again, what does it do? It again exerts an equal pressure to the cell. So it again exerts an equal pressure against the swollen cell, through which the cell is prevented from bursting. So that is what, because of their walls, such cells can withstand much greater changes in the surrounding medium than the animal cells. Means during different seasons, during different weathers, during different climates, these plant cells have capacity to withstand the external environment compared to the animal cells. Means animal cells are weak compared to the plant cells. They cannot withstand the changes which are happening in the external environment like plant cells. So students, are you clear how the cell walls protect the plants, how the cell walls give a proper structure to the plants, and how the plasmolysis takes place only in the living cells? Through the activity, you have a clear vision, that is how the plant cells or living plant cells tend to follow the osmosis process. So students, just go through the points, go through the chapter, go through these activities and try to understand that how diffusion and osmosis process takes place. You can also observe this in your day-to-day life. You have day-to-day activities at your home, your mother is cooking inside the home, so she also follows such kind of process. Like we have seen the example of apricot. So this is one of the activities. Such kind of activities, try to find out in your home and try to give me examples regarding this. If you are not able to do, that's fine, but just have some struggle and try to have some efforts and try to get some common examples of osmosis and diffusion at your home so that you can learn easily. Okay students, thank you.